Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more short-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, because as you can see, Bitcoin here is getting quite far into this ascending triangle pennant that Bitcoin has been in here over the last week and a half or so. And this is a very interesting time for Bitcoin because as you can see, there's not a whole lot of time left in this consolidation pattern before Bitcoin is more than likely going to have some kind of breakout. In fact, if we measure this in less than 48 hours, we should be expecting some kind of breakout on Bitcoin. And based on the size of this pennant and based on all of the technical analysis that we've done, the strength of the bulls and the bears, and the tension that I'm feeling build in the market, I think whichever direction Bitcoin decides to go ahead and break out is going to be a major breakout. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing when that breakout will come, how big that breakout will be, and in what direction that Bitcoin breakout will go. I almost nailed that intro and then I stumbled over my words on Bitcoin of all words. But anyway, guys, that's the technical analysis portion for today's video. And interestingly enough, we're actually going to be talking about PewDiePie later on because PewDiePie has just gone ahead and joined a blockchain platform named DLive. You guys may have heard of it, and this was definitely an interesting video to research and put together because I was watching a PewDiePie video for the research portion of today's video, but I'm not complaining. So anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Actually, more further ado, there is the cryptocurrency technical analysis sale still going on. We've had over 20 people join the course. We've had like 24 people join in the last couple of days. So if you guys are looking to join CT2A, the sale is still going on and will be through the remainder of today. So check out that coupon code in the description down below. More on that later. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Bitcoin is currently trading around $5,260 and change. And as you can see over the last hour or so, Bitcoin has been moving to the upside. Bitcoin's up about 0.5% in the last hour. Nothing major to write home about. One of the first things I want to point out here is how Bitcoin is actually kind of hugging this uptrend of support right here. As you can see, most of the price action on Bitcoin here over the last week and a half or so has been around the zone of this uptrend of support. Much less of it has been around the flat level of resistance. And that's an important thing to note because a lot of times when you see a market hug a level of support or resistance in the way that it has been recently, normally it means that that is the level of resistance or support that you're going to see be broken. Now, there's much more technical analysis that we have to get into to discern which direction Bitcoin is going to break here, but this is one of the first things I wanted to mention since we're already here on the hourly chart. Bitcoin has been hugging this uptrend of support rather than the flat level of resistance, which may be an indication that we'll actually see a breakdown here. Of course, you guys know that I think we are going to be in for one final correction before we start the bull market. I have done tons and tons of technical analysis on that about why I believe that. There's a lot of evidence for why that will be happening, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in today's video. But for now, it does seem that we're going to see one more bearish breakout. That being said, I'm not necessarily talking about which direction Bitcoin breaks here. That is not what I was talking about. I'm talking about after Bitcoin breaks bullish or bearish, we're probably going to go even more bearish. We'll discuss that in a little while, though. Anyway, guys, there is one thing I want to talk about that I haven't mentioned in a very long time, and that would actually be the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands on Bitcoin are a very powerful technical indicator because they're a useful way to measure overbought signals and oversold signals on Bitcoin. They act kind of similar to the RSI and the stochastic RSI, actually, in that the Bollinger Bands will tell you when Bitcoin has rallied too far and when it needs a correction, or when Bitcoin has fallen too far and needs to recover. And as you can see right now, Bitcoin, I'll go ahead and go to a different chart that's a little cleaner. As we can see here, Bitcoin is quite overextended on the Bollinger Bands. As you can see, we broke very bullish out of them. Very, very bullish. The Bollinger Bands widened up very, very quickly. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Bollinger Bands and you're in CT2A, we do have a video on them right here in the technical indicators portion. I go over everything about Bollinger Bands, how they're calculated, all of that. So if you're in the course, go ahead and check that video out if you want some more description. And if you're not in the course, that sale's still going on, by the way, guys. But the Bollinger Bands are a very powerful technical indicator because, like I said, they do give you those signals of overbought and oversold. Whenever you see Bitcoin ride this 2 standard deviation line out here, the 95% line out here, whenever you see Bitcoin out beyond that, that typically means you're going to see Bitcoin come back in the Bollinger Bands. And sometimes it means that you're going to see a correction, albeit this is a bit of an early indicator, an early warning sign. It's not very lagging, but you do want to keep in mind that sometimes these signals that the Bollinger Bands are giving you are going to be a little while out. That all being said, also, I do want to mention that it's been a very long time since we've seen Bitcoin ride the outside of the Bollinger Bands like this. You could say on the daily chart anyway that Bitcoin did it back over here, but the last real time that we saw Bitcoin ride these outer Bollinger Bands like this were back over here in July, August, and September of 2018. These times right over here would have been the last time that we saw Bitcoin do something like this. Had a major breakout, broke out of the Bollinger Bands, and then continued riding the outskirts of them. We haven't seen that happen in quite some time, and I think that's a very good sign for Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is becoming more and more bullish all the time. But at the same time, the daily Bollinger Bands will warn of corrections. So too will the weekly Bollinger Bands. And this is what I really wanted to talk about, was the fact that Bitcoin is outside of the weekly Bollinger Bands here on the weekly chart on Bitcoin. Bitcoin very, very quickly in the last week blew straight out of the Bollinger Bands. This is very far overextended outside of the Bollinger Bands, guys. In case you're not very familiar with them, this is a very long way to be outside of the Bollinger Bands. And a big part of that is because Bitcoin was not very bullish for a couple of months here, and then boom, straight through the ceiling we went. Bitcoin blasted off like a rocket ship, and we saw Bitcoin get outside of these Bollinger Bands. So we're probably going to see some kind of correction over the next week to two, as I've been talking about for quite some time, and the Bollinger Bands seem to be confirming that. Because interestingly enough, the last time that we saw Bitcoin outside of the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart at all, period, on the bullish side, the last time we saw that was at the climax of the 2017 bull market. We have not seen Bitcoin do that since. And of course, one reason for that would be that the Bollinger Bands were so widened over here because of the bull market that when they constricted, it became a lot easier for Bitcoin to get out of them. That is an argument, but we also have to keep in mind that during this entire bear market, even with that I just said, Bitcoin never once got outside of these Bollinger Bands. And I think this is an early warning sign of a longer-term change happening to Bitcoin. Because as we'll see if we look back on the chart over here in 2014 and 15, the last time that Bitcoin actually broke bullish out of the Bollinger Bands before it had this little analogous rally that we're in right now was during that previous bull market in 2013. After that bull market, in this bear market, we never saw Bitcoin get out of the Bollinger Bands at all. Never. Not on the bullish side. We saw them a little bit on the bear side. It's a bear market. You expect that. The last time we saw Bitcoin do that was right over here in this rally before the actual bull market. That's just another one of those probably over 25 confirmations at this point that we're in this point right here in history on Bitcoin. And we are seeing the rally before the Bitcoin bull market. This will be where we are in 3 or 4 months, maybe less than that. And this is where we are right now. And I want to bring up Bollinger Bands because it's another technical confirmation of Bitcoin bullishness that I haven't mentioned in quite some time. But even though this is a technical confirmation of Bitcoin bullishness, you must keep in mind also that this is a sign that Bitcoin is overbought on the shorter term time frames. For the next week or two, Bitcoin is looking overbought. You do want to keep that in mind. Now, there's another thing that I want to mention that I haven't talked about, and that would be a cross between the 20 daily simple moving average right here and the 200 daily simple moving average right here. We got the these two moving averages are very important on Bitcoin, actually. The 20 moving average and especially the 20 exponential moving average are one of my favorite technical indicators. These moving averages are very powerful, and so too are their crosses. We're about to see a golden cross on these two moving averages in the next couple of days. You guys may remember I've talked about the 200 daily moving average and the 50 daily moving average crossing, but that's not going to happen just yet. We're about to see these two moving averages, the 20 and the 200, cross. And if we look back in time, in the same way that the 50 took a long time to cross, the last time that we saw a cross on these two was back over here in March of 2018, and it was a bearish cross. Before that, the last time we saw a bullish cross on Bitcoin was way back over here in history. Got to keep going. Got a long way to go. All the way back over here on a different chart, actually, because it's so far away. The 200 doesn't go that far back on that chart. Oops. If we look back over here, the last time we saw a bullish cross on the 200 and the 20 was right over here at the beginning of the last bull market, guys. There's so many different technical indicators telling us that the bull market is coming in the next 3 months. It's absolutely ridiculous. But of course, what we're seeing right now is not the first of these crosses. It's not the second of these crosses, rather. It's the first. And if we look back to 2015, we saw two bullish crosses between the 20 and the 200. We saw one right here, and we saw one right over here. And we're seeing the first one right now. This is yet another technical confirmation that Bitcoin is in that proto-rally before the Bitcoin bull market actually starts. This rally right here is where we are. We're not quite over here just yet, but we will most likely be there soon. This is where we are right now, and I think we're going to be seeing that bull market start over here in the next 3 to 4 or 5 months, something like that. We're seeing a lot of warning signs that that is going to be coming. Perhaps I shouldn't say warning signs because we're excited about it. But anyway, those are some of the things I want to talk about in the longer term. But back to the topic of today's video, which direction is Bitcoin going to break out of this pennant? Is it going to break bullish or is it going to break bearish? Well, guys, there's a lot of different technical analysis that goes into this, and I simply don't have time to get into all of it in today's video because I have to make T-Series jokes later on this video when we talk about PewDiePie. Anyway, what we have to look at here is the market structure of the Bitcoin market here, how the bulls and the bears are operating, who seems to be stronger, and some more technical indicators that we've talked about in previous videos and that I will talk about again as to whether or not Bitcoin is going to break bullish here. One of the things I want to bring up would be the RSI and the stochastic RSI. And like I said, I've talked about this in previous videos, so I will be brief, but there has been a development. And those developments show up pretty clearly. As we can see, Bitcoin's RSI on the daily chart is starting to move to the downside. We've had a little bit of a bump here in the last day, partially because Bitcoin has had another green candlestick, but Bitcoin's RSI is generally trending down over the last 3 days. That may change, but for now, it is generally trending downwards. A similar thing is true with stochastic RSI. It has been trending downwards quite a bit more decisively here over the last week. And the way you want to read RSI and stochastic RSI is you don't want to try and buy the bottoms and sell the tops. You want to try and wait until you have confirmation that the market is actually moving the direction you think it will, and then actually sell the market when you have bearish momentum starting to accrue, and then buy the market when you have bullish momentum starting to accrue. And right now, there is a little bit of bearish momentum coming from the stochastic and from the stochastic RSI and the normal RSI. Just a little bit, not much, but it's something you want to keep your eye on, because something that you do sometimes see is that stochastic RSI will fall off and then bounce back up. So that may be what we're seeing. Maybe Bitcoin stochastic RSI is going to bounce back up here. Time will tell on that. Those are two technical indicators that I wanted to mention. And of course, also, we still have this weekly stochastic RSI that needs to be corrected. This could go on for another couple weeks before we see that correction. It's very possible, but we are going to see some kind of correction in the next month. I'm very confident on that. How large it is, I've heard people say anywhere from 20 to 60%. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that big. I think 10 to 15%, maybe even 20% down to $3,000 or a little higher, $4,000 or a little higher would be something a little bit more understandable. But for right now, guys, I do want to tell you that I think that Bitcoin is probably going to break bullish out of this ascending triangle pattern. I think Bitcoin's going to continue rallying here and break bullish one last time. As you guys know, this what we're looking at here is a pennant, and when you have a pennant, you can measure that pennant. And there's different ways to measure it, so I'm going to measure it this way. If you measure this pennant and then drag it up here, then we see that the price target for this breakout sits up around $6,300 to $6,400 if Bitcoin breaks bullish. That being said, those price targets don't always work the best, and that's why I don't use them all that often, because that's a little bit ridiculous. I don't think Bitcoin is necessarily ready to go all the way up to $6,400. If Bitcoin goes up to $6,000, I'd be a little bit surprised, and I think that we'd reject off of it and fall back down, since the bull market, I don't think, is just about ready to be started. But with all of that in mind, it does seem that there is enough bullish momentum to continue pushing Bitcoin to the upside. Right now, there is a lot of bullish exuberance because we've been in a bear market and accumulation phase for the last 18 months. And understandably, people are looking for bullishness. People want bullishness, and people have used that desire for bullishness to come to expect bullishness. And I think we are going to see a little bit more before we see that breakout to the downside that I've been expecting in the next couple of weeks. I think that Bitcoin is most likely going to break bullish here, and then we're going to fall over in about a week after we move up here, and then we're going to start moving to the downside. How far we move to the downside, I don't know. But don't look at that move to the downside that we're expecting as a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing, because buying Bitcoin at $4,000 is preferable to buying Bitcoin at $5,000. And at this point, I think we can all agree that some form of a Bitcoin bull market is coming. So after Bitcoin breaks out here, take your profits if you want. Wait on Bitcoin to crash, buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and then go on the bull market. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm laying out a scenario. This is not financial advice. Don't sue me if you make a bad investment. I'm not responsible for what you do. But either way, I think you guys get what we're trying to say here in the technical analysis portion of today's video. I think you understand my points. So let's go ahead and move on to the meme news of today. PewDiePie, and this is actually very important. This isn't just a meme. This is really, really important for the cryptocurrency community. PewDiePie ditches YouTube and Twitch streaming for DLive's blockchain platform. And like I said earlier, guys, I never thought I would be watching a PewDiePie video for research purposes on one of my videos, but I'm very happy to say that I have now done that. Reading on here, the planet's most popular streamer. This may be the most important sentence in this entire article. On YouTube, he is the most subscribed and 10th most viewed content creator on the platform. You guys know that, well, actually, you guys might not know that I'm a pretty big PewDiePie fan. If you guys are, tell me in the comment section down below. Let's talk about that. But this is interesting. PewDiePie announced in yesterday's video that he's actually going to be partnering with DLive, which is a blockchain-based streaming platform. Now, if you guys know PewDiePie, you know he's had a bit of a kerfuffle in the past with his streaming, as he mentions here at the beginning of his video. But nevertheless, him streaming is a very interesting thing, especially on a new platform. And he's talked about in this video in the first 2 minutes where he's doing the sponsored portion of this video here's the mfuti. He talks about how he's actually going to be doing a lot of donations to streamers on the DLive platform. And guys, what you have to realize is that, think what you will about PewDiePie. I'm not going to get too much into what I think about PewDiePie. I think he's a good guy. I'll leave it at that. PewDiePie has 93 million YouTube subscribers, guys. His videos get on average between 5 to 10 million views. And here's a clip of him saying blockchain that I've had looping in the background. Hearing PewDiePie say blockchain is kind of an important thing. Hearing someone with 93 million subscribers say blockchain and be getting into a cryptocurrency platform is a really big deal, guys. Now, of course, PewDiePie made, during Meme Review a long time ago, he talked about the Carlos Matos joke and BitConnect, and he mentioned that, but that wasn't really representing cryptocurrency in the most positive light. But DLive is a way that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency community, especially the blockchain industry in particular, can be brought to the pop culture again as Bitcoin starts this new bull market. And I think if PewDiePie sticks around on DLive for next year and he sees that Bitcoin starts doing really well, this might actually be a very good opportunity for all of the 9-year-olds around the world, and that's a reference to that's what he calls his subscribers, in case you aren't familiar. I'm doing Meme Review now. I'm explaining the meme. Yeah, it'd be a very good thing for all of his 93 million subscribers to understand, or not necessarily understand, but hear about blockchain, hear about Bitcoin, and perhaps start getting invested in the space and start moving into the space. PewDiePie has had major influences on industries before. I mean, people blame him for the adpocalypse. It wasn't really his fault, but people do attribute some of that to him. PewDiePie is a very big content creator. He's 93 million subscribers. He's not an insignificant voice in the space. And to see him moving into the cryptocurrency market is a big win for us, guys, because having all these institutions move into the cryptocurrency space, that's great. We want that. But we also want the public and especially the younger generations, the kind of people that will be invested in the cryptocurrency space, to get excited about cryptocurrency. And seeing something like DLive being on Meme Review is a great way to do that, guys. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to PewDiePie, T-Series is about to pass him again in the next couple of weeks. So go ahead and subscribe to PewDiePie. If you're not subscribed to PewDiePie and you're subscribed to me, we're going to have a problem. So go subscribe to PewDiePie. He's a good guy. Anyway, guys, that's mostly what I wanted to talk about in today's video, and I find it hilarious that I was actually given the opportunity based on this news to talk about PewDiePie in a video. If you guys are a fan of PewDiePie, tell me in the comment section down below, and tell me what you thought when T-Series passed PewDiePie, and then after the congratulations video, PewDiePie passed him again. I know we're getting a little bit off in the weeds, but I'm having fun with it, guys. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. But before we wrap it up, I do want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy sale that is going on. As you guys know, we have we have exactly 30 videos here in CT2A, over 8 hours of content here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. In this course, you will learn everything you need to know to get your feet off the ground and start learning how to start using technical analysis to make predictions on the market so that you can then go and start investing in the market, trading in the market, and making money in the market, guys. There are hundreds of lessons in these 30 videos, and there are more videos coming out in the future. In this month, more than likely, there's going to be another 5 videos uploaded to the course. In these videos, there are hundreds, and I do mean hundreds of different lessons. There's 30 videos, and in each of those videos, there's several things that I teach you. If you use any single one of those lessons and make a good trade with that lesson, you will make back the price of the course and more. It's a very fairly priced course. I'll be showing you something about that in a little while. The 20% off coupon code for April 2019 is in the description down below to make the course price even lower, because I want to give you guys this information for cheap prices. I see a lot of people selling courses for $997 or $3,000 or $500. I don't want to do that. I want you guys to be able to get in this course, learn about technical analysis, and then go out and apply what you've learned into the markets and make money for yourselves, because that's what I want to do with this channel, guys. That's why I've done this channel and uploaded a video to the Crypto Jeb channel every single day for the last year and a half. It's because I want to help you guys, and because I see the future for Bitcoin. I want to build a community here. So if you guys are looking to learn how to do technical analysis, I do highly recommend CT2A. And as I've told you guys in the past, As I've said for a very long time, I've said this for years, this is not just something that I've come up with for a sales tactic or anything. I've always said and always adhered to the belief that the best investment that you can make is one in yourself. It's not a good idea to go out and start investing in stocks or gold or silver or oil or any kind of commodity, any kind of ETF. I don't care what you're investing in. I don't care if you're investing in Bitcoin or Litecoin or EOS or Ethereum or BitConnect. I don't care what you're investing in. It will always be the better decision to invest in yourself first. Because you may have noticed that I said BitConnect in that. If you go in investing at random and you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to invest in something like BitConnect. You're going to invest in something like Davercoin, if you guys remember Davercoin. You're going to invest in something that is not going to do well. You're going to invest in real estate in 2008. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get yourself burned, and you're going to leave a space where you can make a ton of money, and Bitcoin is a great example of that. It's always a good idea to invest in yourself so that you know how these markets operate before you go and start investing in the markets themselves. Any money you put into investing yourself will give you a much higher return than any money you put into any investment, even in Bitcoin right before a bull market starts, guys. There's no question about it. If you know how to trade these markets, you're going to make an exponentially larger amount of money than someone who doesn't and is just blindly throwing money at the market. So if you've been following these videos and you're in the cryptocurrency space, I do highly recommend joining the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I think it's a very fair price, and I'm actually going to show you a testimonial we had in yesterday's video. There's a person named DeLuca who has actually been in the course for a little over a month. I did verify that they are in the course, by the way. This is absolutely correct. I've seen them, and they have left comments. They've emailed me, and we've corresponded in the past. DeLuca says, I'm a student of Jeb's courses. You will not be disappointed. I said, thank you, DeLuca. And DeLuca says, I've been wanting to learn technical analysis for so long, but everyone else wants to charge a ridiculous amount for their knowledge. They do so while telling everyone how they want to help the average person succeed, yet make it impossible for the average person to buy their courses. You, sir, referring to me, practice what you preach and deliver amazing information for a fraction of what others charge. Thank you so much. Guys, after the coupon code, the course price is right around $119, which is a very low price considering that there are many other courses going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. If you guys want to check out that comment chain, there is a, that was actually on yesterday's video. So go back to yesterday's video. You'll find that comment down there, in case for some reason you thought I made that up or something. Anyway, guys, the reason I'm talking about CT2A so much is because this sale is going to be ending this afternoon, or tonight, I should say, at 11:55 Eastern Time. So if you guys want to join the course, links in the description. There will be more sales in the future, but for now, go ahead and hop on in. There probably will be a price increase coming in the coming months. Now, that won't be a very large price increase. We'll probably be moving the course price up to $200, and there will be about another 20 videos coming into the course, so it'll be very much worth every single penny still, and even more highly valued at the time. But I never want the course to be so far and away that you guys can't afford to jump on in if you want to learn about technical analysis. Anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. Tell me in the comments section down below if you watched to the end of the video. What I want you to do is put in the comment section down below the word PewDiePie. Tell me in the comment section down below, PewDiePie. Nothing more. I just want to see how many of you guys watched through the last 5 minutes or so of me talking about CT2A, because you guys are the real OG fans. You guys are the real subscribers. But like I've said in so many videos, guys, I am now rambling, so I am going to go ahead and wrap the video up. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, though, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.